No.
Smells like a roller skating rink.
Wow, really?
I think
that's an
what it
awesome
is.
note.
I think that's like what it made me think
Like
of.
a little bit of like the leathery smell from the skates and
Maybe.
like a little bit of like that must in the
Like
air.
I smelled it and what popped in my mind was a roller skating rink.
I kind of don't mind that note.
Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
And welcome to another double-blind head-to-head where you see our reactions to the pours and the prices before we find out what's in either glass. Let's run our randomizer and see which one of these pairings we're tasting today.
7.
So 9's in the front row, 8, 7. Cool. We'll get these poured and be right back with our full thoughts. All right, let's get into glass 1 on the nose.
So I'm not getting a ton yet on the nose. I normally need a sip or two before I could get the nose opens up for me, but I'm getting a faint hint of log cabin.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like a faint hint of log cabin once I get past the alcohol.
What's the old syrup? Like, is it log cabin?
Log cabin.
The maples? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I actually get a hint of that in here.
Interesting.
But I also get some kind of banana breadiness.
Okay.
And a little bit of like red fruit, like almost like a strawberry-ish type of note mixed in there as well.
Okay.
Like there's some fruitiness, there's some syrupiness. To me, the nose smells really nice. Kind of simple, but quite nice.
Yeah.
Let's get into the palate. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm getting a lot of oak and then Twizzler.
Oh, I see your Twizzler. Yeah.
Oak and then Twizzler.
Yeah.
Like I walked by an oak tree eating a Twizzler.
Oh. I breathed in and tried to start talking, and it kind of got me in the back of the throat, but I'm also...
That's what she said.
I'm getting that stuff, and I'm also getting a little bit of like a carbonation, almost like a seltzer water on the back of the palate.
I can see that, yeah.
At least the sensation of drinking a seltzer water, the fizzy water, if you've seen Ted Lasso, and you get the fizzy water sensation in your mouth.
Yeah.
I'm getting that on this glass for sure. Fairly oily for what it is, too, seemingly.
Yeah. Let's do another sip.
Let's go.
Okay. Same.
Yeah.
No change.
All the stuff I was getting on the nose came across on the palate on that second sip. And there's that carbonated feeling is a little sharp. And I'm
little bit, but it's not too sharp for me.
I'm not sure that I love the sharpness that I'm getting out of this. I don't know if it's youth or grain or it's kind of alcohol-y, evaporative feeling. And I don't love that aspect of it. But the flavors that are underneath that, or I guess rather on top of that, are really nice.
Yeah.
I do like those quite a bit. But the experience right now is leaving something to be desired. This is our first sip of whiskey for the day, so maybe that will come around a little bit more as we spend some more time with these glasses. All right, it's time to get into our first impressions on glass 2. Cheers.
Right. Cheers. Oh my gosh, I got a very familiar smell right away, and I can't pinpoint what it is.
I don't want to say anything yet because I want you to have your experience. I don't want to cloud your judgment.
You can go ahead.
This to me just smells kind of fruity and syrupy like the first glass, but just darker across the board.
Okay.
No familiar smells here. It just smells like a better version of glass 1. Not the same though.
It smells like a roller skating rink.
Wow, really?
I think
that's an awesome
is.
note.
I think that's like what it made me think
like
of.
a little bit of like the leathery smell from the skates and
maybe
like a little bit of like that must in the
air. Like I smelled it and what popped in my mind was a roller skating rink.
I kind of don't mind that note. That's pretty cool.
Can we taste it and see if it tastes like one?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Definitely drying. Ooh, no, just kidding. I take that back. It seemed like it was going to be drying, but the finish is really nice. It's not drying. Yeah. It's pretty light finish, actually.
Yeah, it's seemingly light overall. I would say the experience is very similar to glass 1. A little bit less alcohol-y.
And a little less effervescent.
Less effervescent. It's a little darker and richer in flavor profile.
I feel
but
like
it's still kind of fruity, oaky.
The finish is less oily than the first glass, though.
Let's get into another sip.
Okay. Yeah, it's good. It's pretty simple in my mind. It's a little more simple than the first glass.
I would agree with that, yeah.
But it's not bad.
I might like the flavor profile better. I'm not sure about the rest of the stuff, but It's a little darker, which I tend to prefer in flavor profile. It's got your caramels, your vanillas, your oaks, your very classic Kentucky bourbon. Watch it not be Kentucky bourbon, but it tastes very classic with this fruity element mixed into it. I think both of these are going to be kind of crowd pleaser bourbons, if I had to guess.
Okay.
I don't try to guess what's in the glass, but I kind of try to pinpoint what the port is, like who it's for. And I think both of these are going to be pretty good crowd pleasers, not too high a proof.
Middle of the road, like proof-wise.
Right. But we are going to need to take some time, clear our palates, start with the second glass, and compare them. We're going to do that right now and be right back. We've got our tasting scores. Let's talk about them.
So for me, glass 1, my favorite thing was the experience. I really liked the layered experience that we had, even with the effervescence at the end. It wasn't too much. The nose was fine. The flavor was okay, but I really liked the experience of it.
Yeah.
For me, also glass 2, the nose was my favorite part on that. Normally, I'm pretty, I don't smell much on the nose, but I really enjoyed what I smelled here. It got a little earthy kind of as I was smelling it, and I dig that. Just a personal preference. And the flavor was fine. The experience was fine. It was a little light compared to glass 1, so I did have a preference to glass 1. I think that the finish,
I like this.
The finish wasn't as long as glass 1's finish, and for some reason I wasn't liking it as much.
Glass 1 for me smells like vanilla wafer, or the banana pudding with vanilla wafers in it.
Vanilla wafers, yeah.
That somebody dumped booze in. And then glass 2 for me was a little bit more classic bourbon with a fruity edge to it, but more like a stewed fruit or like a fruit syrup, something like a little dark. I wrote classic bourbon with a touch of stewed fruit. So I actually preferred glass 2. I thought the overall experience of both pours was pretty similar overall, but I felt like glass 2 just had a little bit of a darker flavor profile that I tend to prefer, which is why I marked glass 1 down on the flavors a little bit. All right, let's find out how much these cost and then what we've been drinking.
Yeah, I'm interested.
So glass number 1 is number 71 in our key, and glass number 2 is number 72 in our key.
Perfect. Glass 1, $35.
I'm happy with that. That feels... I didn't say it out loud, but I was like, these both seem like about $30, $40 pours, like bottles. That's what they should cost. They should, Anyways, glass 2.
Well, you'll be happy. Glass 2 was $25.
Oh, glass 2 all day, every day. Buy glass 2. But you like glass 1 better.
I did, but honestly, they kind of scored the same overall if you add up the thumbs that we saw earlier. Yeah. Just I liked 1 for a different reason than I liked 2.
Sure. I'm always reaching for glass 2 over glass 1. It was a preference there, and they were close, but it was very easy for me to decide which one I liked more.
So for me, I would drink glass 1 on one day and glass 2 another day. It wasn't an easy... I liked glass 1 better, but it wasn't oh my gosh, I will never drink glass 2.
Yeah, to me, glass 2 just getting more syrupy. Let's find out what these are.
Okay.
What is glass 1?
Glass 1 is Jack Daniel's Bonded.
That checks out. The vanilla wafers, banana pudding.
Oh, okay.
What's glass 2?
Early Times Bottled and Bond.
That checks out. Wow.
They're both 100 proof.
Usually Early Times comes across even better than this to me. Yeah, 100 proof checks out. Yeah, that all sounds right.
They seemed pretty middle of the road proof-wise.
So this is a really interesting comparison because Jack Daniel's Bonded is a new-to-market product.
Okay.
And Early Times Bottled and Bond used to be owned by Brown-Forman, now owned by Sazerac. Still the same distillate reported by Sazerac that they bought Brown-Forman distillate, or aged whiskey rather. But, Sazerac is now blending that whiskey, I imagine. So there are a little bit of differences, but we have found the new Sazerac-owned bottles that have the blue metal screw tops to be better than the old Brown-Forman bottles that have the black plastic screw tops.
Is this a Sazerac one?
This is a Sazerac one, yeah. So the reason these went in here, $100, both
100 proof.
Or 100 proof.
Not $100.
Definitely not $100. $35, $25. You get a liter here.
Okay.
So it's actually more like under $20. This is only 700 milliliters instead of 750.
Okay.
So it's maybe more like $40.
So per ounce, you're paying more for the Jack Daniels.
Yeah, almost close to double for the Jack Daniels. But it's so funny. When I very first took a sip of this, I try not to think about what's what. But as soon as I smelled it, I was like, it smells Jack Daniels-ish.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but we've got so much stuff in our head-to-head pool that I didn't really think much about it. But I actually wouldn't have pegged it necessarily as that. The bonded is really good, but again, not quite to my flavor preference, but you did like it.
I did.
Really interesting matchup. We need to get into our real world scores based on price and availability. Where are you at on Jack Daniel's bonded for the retail score?
So for retail, I give it a thumbs up. It's good price, good availability, thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm the same place. Thumbs up on retail for Jack Daniel's bonded. Consumer score, would you buy it? Would you recommend it for folks?
For the price, yeah, I would. I think it's worth a try, so thumbs up. I would buy it and recommend it.
And that puts your real world score at a?
4.
We got to check our math there.
Yeah.
For me, I'm going to say just okay on consumer score. In our market, it's actually a little more than 35. We live in Nashville, Tennessee, and stores know that they can sell Jack Daniels for a premium. So
True.
It's actually more like 38 here. If you could get it for 30 or 33 bucks, I do think it's probably a thumbs up, but the flavor's just not there for me. So I'm going to give it a just okay. That puts my real world score at a 4 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Yours is a what? 4 out of 10?
Yeah.
So it's kind of at the lower end. It's not bowling us away, but it's still in that 4 to 6 point range in our bell curve scoring that represents fairly good value for the money.
Yep.
So I think that's fairly accurate for Jack Daniel's bonded. All right, let's get into glass 2.
Right.
Based on price and availability, what's your retail score for Early Times Bottle and Bond?
So in our market, we can get Early Times pretty easily, and for the price, it's a thumbs up.
Yeah, it's getting 2 thumbs up on retail for me.
Yeah, I was almost there, but thumbs up.
That good of a pour for that little of money is almost unheard of in the whiskey space. Non-blind, this is a value champion pour for me, and it just proved it again in a blind tasting. Let's go into, as a consumer, would you buy this? Would you recommend it? Where you at?
Honestly, I had given it 1 thumbs up, but for the price and for the full liter, I'm going to change it to 2 thumbs up. Because even though tonight it wasn't my preference, because I felt like it was a little bit lighter compared to glass 1 in finish, it's worth the money, 100%, and I would recommend everyone try it if they can.
Strong buy.
Yeah.
Strong buy. And that's your real world score at a 5?
Yep.
Awesome. For me, it's going to get a thumbs up on consumer score. This is a buy for sure. You got to buy one. You got to try it. Maybe you don't love it. If you don't, you're not out very much money. But every time this bottle runs out, I'm going to buy another one because I like it that much. That puts my real world score at a 6 out of 10, which is pushing the top end of that middle limit that represents really good value for the money. And I think that's pretty accurate for Early Times Bottled and Bond. Really interesting head-to-head between 2 crowd favorites in the bourbon nerd sphere, and honestly 2 really great bottled and bond pours that you really can't go wrong with based on their price, based on their availability in so many markets. Absolutely worth checking out these 2 if what we said here sounds interesting to you.
And if you liked what we said here today, go ahead and like this video. And also, if you like this style of content, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification to be notified when we do our monthly live streams.
Thanks so much for watching. Be good to each other, and until next time, cheers. That was so good. Man, this new format is so much better.
It's easier to film.
It's easier, it's funner.
I like it. Man, you were awesome. That's the best I've ever seen you. Precise, like you thought about what you wanted to say and then you said it and you didn't like keep saying the same thing. You said what you needed to say and then you moved on to the next thing you wanted to say.
You know why?
Because I don't know why.
Because in editing, I am so sick of hearing myself talk.
Really? I listen to you. Do you listen to me?
Huh.
Exactly.